get this figured out. This world gon' give me whatever I need until I get this vision out. Then they gon' pay me whatever I ask, cause I got it figured out. Family be checking all up on a nigga to see how I'm feeling now. Damn, they love to see a nigga really make a killing now. I put a lock on the game and I hide the code and the keys. I am not playing no games, I really play this shit for keeps. That shit for me.
MaddenHeadz YouTube. What's going on? It is your boy, Coach DC, coming back at you today with another video. And nothing like football Sundays, man, for real. So this morning I had a question from one of my guys, and his question was, it was two-part. He said, is there consistent defense on this game? And better yet, can you play zone consistently on this game? He's having troubles with his zones, as we all are. And so it's something I thought about. When compared to the games of the past, we all said the zones were bad, but now I'm starting to think maybe the zones were just predictable. Maybe they weren't that bad considering what goes on in this game, because in this game, the zones are totally unpredictable. You can, whatever they're supposed to do, sometimes they'll do it and sometimes they don't. And I think that's one of the bigger issues that people have with this game. And so for me, the answer is yes in both, because I do it. Yeah, there are times where the zones just wig out and all that stuff. But that's what switch stick is for. But for me, I just look at it like, yeah, the zones, you can play zone in this game. In this game, what's different is the fact that in this game, you have to have, how did I shank that? You have to have some sort of pressure in this game. Now, that's one thing that is a fact in this game, is that the fact that you just can't let people sit in the pocket on this game, or just, let them get away with having a lot of time to throw, and because the zones are there, you're gonna give up the ghost when you do so. And so a lot of what I do now is, like, I run a lot of hybrids, but I'm sending, I'm making sure I'm sending at least some pressure, even if it's just token pressure. To me, the man-to-man is much worse on this game than the zones, to be honest with you. The man-to-man is horrible on this game. It's like, I know some of it's the third down and fourth down dilemma, as I call it. But yeah, I haven't been confident in man-to-man on this game in some years. It's just too easy to beat. The alignments are still all jacked up, even though they tell you, that they told us that the alignment, and how guys lined up with the offense was going to be better on this game. You still, like, a lot of those guys, if somebody's calling double A gap on you, call 5 wides. Yeah, because chances are one of those, if they're in some sort of other defense, that inside guy, if he's in man-to-man, he's not going to go line up out there. He's going to stay in that gap. So, yeah, in my opinion, you just have to kind of send a little bit of pressure, run your hybrids. It's a lot of other stuff, and so I'll be coming out with some defensive virtuals for Madden. I have a really good defensive virtual for the college game, the Amoeba defense, which I'm gonna relay over to Madden. It's a different defense in Madden, but I'm gonna relay that over to Madden and give you guys some ideas and formulas to, kind of, make your zones a little bit more elaborate and more reliable, you know what I mean? And so for me, like I said, the switch stick saves me a lot, but again, like I said, the zones in Madden 25 is just, they're totally unpredictable at times. But yeah, the zones from last year were, in my opinion, better, but they were just predictable, and we knew what the Deep Blues were going to do when you ran a certain route concept against it. In this game, it's a little more unpredictable, which in a way makes it a little better, but a little worse, if that makes any sense at all. But yeah, man, getting into this game right here. Yeah, you see, I was able to get out, to a good 13-0 lead. And so this was actually a good defensive game, for me. Now, a lot of what I do, a lot of times, man, when guys are going down the field on you, fellas, you have to learn how to hit the SWAT button. I'm telling you, stop going for interceptions. For you guys that click on, a lot of people don't. A lot of people just mug the gaps and then let whatever transpires behind that happen, and hopefully their AI guy can make a play. As you see right there, I was just totally out of whack. For me, what messes this game up defensively is the lack of, the inability to make adjustments. A lot of times now, when those guys break out and they're going to line up, and you think that you can adjust, sometimes, especially with the corners, you have to wait until they go line up at corner before you make your adjustment. And I had to figure that out myself, because I kept saying, why is it's a guy, I'm putting him in a deep half or a deep blue, and he's blitzing. The reason why he was blitzing was because I was giving him the adjustment before he got to his spot, which is like the most crazy thing on earth to me. So it's like, once they break out of the little scrum after you call the play or whatever, as they're lingering around and doing all the little stuff that EA thinks is cute by, their little mannerism stuff. If they're not standing in the proper spot, that's a dime right there. If they're not standing in the proper spot defensively, you might not get the adjustment you're looking for. Yeah. And it just go back and check it. It looks really crazy at times, but yeah, you just really have to be sure about what you're doing. I have to constantly check my adjustments to make sure that the adjustment I'm giving the guy is the right one, especially in a case like that where I have a hard flat right there. That was more DDA, as the guy just stands there and just looks at it. And then I have some plays where, that guy, he'll jump that route all day long. But again, the SWAT is important. When going down the field, I make a lot of plays just hitting the or pressing the SWAT button, once I'm able to click on. And then sometimes even when they don't give you the click on, because a lot of times on this game, the click on just is so unpredictable. Here's a case right there where they gave me a switch stick or whatever, and they gave it to me too early, and I didn't even realize who I was on, and I pulled a guy totally out of position. And so a lot of that stuff happens too. To me, it's just too much of a delay, between the time that you give input and the time that you receive it. Meaning, do they adjust or are they just going to stand around? It's you just watching me, pass after pass, again, sending a little bit of pressure, putting my guys in the spots. A lot of times, another thing is if you can show press coverage, but play over the top, even in your zone. So if you need a faster press bail, I won't give you this. I can't give you the stuff that's in the College Football Guide or Mechanics Bible. But if you want a faster press bail, I would play over the top. The shading in this game does work to a certain degree, even with in zones. And so, and I don't mean just, underneath and over the top coverage. The inside and outside shading and stuff does work even when you're in zone from time to time. And so you just have to be, like I said, you have to be really mindful of your adjustments. And for me, I just go back and check just to make sure that they're in before the play, because sometimes, they'll snap the ball and the guy will just stand there for a second, especially with the deep blues when you're pressing. From time to time, the defender will just stand there for a second, and he'll just actually let the guy run by him, and then he'll run after him. It's just EA and Madden, and it's just what they do. Run hybrids. Like I said, I run, as you see, if you're watching, just paying attention to the highlights in this game, you see me. I don't just stay in the same defense. I run a whole bunch of stuff. I use look, here's a case where the adjustments, right there. You see that where the corner's blitzing? That's a prime example of what I was just talking about. It's like you can give guys adjustments and then it's just something that doesn't belong. But I run a couple of different playbooks. I run defensively Kansas City's playbook. the Chargers playbook is really nice on defense. It for me, I think, well, according to what I run, the Chargers playbook is probably the best defensive playbook on the game, because you have all of the little pressure kind of defenses that you can get some really good base pressure with, and you can adjust like crazy, as you see right here. It's just, it's just a matter of making the offensive guy more uncomfortable, before they throw, and dropping the guys in the right spots. And you have to corral, you have to tackle, you have to gang tackle, you have to have guys in spots. Even though the juke moves and the spin moves aren't that great on this game, you still have to be able to corral the tackles. You see right there, a little double Mabel left, another coverage on the right, as you see my safety right there just totally just stop and just let the guy get behind him on the corner route, which made no sense whatsoever. I think, like, on this particular game, now one thing I will say from this game, for I'll give Madden 25, I think the run defense is better. Or maybe it's just the offensive guys can't move or whatever. But to me, the run defense is an improvement. It's just the pass defense and the zones are really suspect. And so, again, like I said, hybrids, make sure you're sending some pressure, even if it's just token pressure, one guy up the middle, maybe one guy, a slot guy, or off the edge or something. It's not really all that complicated. Like I said, there are good pressure packages outside of just the standard double mug, which I just think this game just makes us lazy to a certain degree. It's like, once we find one thing in the community, it's like, all right, look, we just gonna run that because that's what everybody else does, and it works for them, so it has to work for me. Nah, you just have to be able to do different stuff and different things and mix it up and match it. Look, like I said, man, 34.3% passing, and he threw a lot. Again, it's just mix and match. Defensive clock-in technique. I'm telling you guys, if you don't have the Mechanics Bible or College Football Guide, you're just simply tripping at this point. Anyway, man, it's your boy.